Yes, the Watchtower Induced psychosis does develop at the Kingdom Hall. I experienced several different physical symptoms. I experienced hypertension, headaches, nervousness in my stomach or butterflies in my stomach. I was very irritable. I had abnormalities in heartbeat. My breathing got very shallow and restricted. I was not in a clear space. I was basically frustrated, but I couldn't let any of that show. My thinking just got so slanted during these times that there was severe distortions of reality, and I just stopped thinking. I would go to the meeting and everything would be a big blur. Though I would notice I would be surrounded by a bunch of Watchtower soldiers. I don't have specific feelings for someone. I have general feelings for everyone. So as I observe my surroundings, I observe the individuals that are sitting around me at the Kingdom Hall, and they are all getting into the song and dance. I like to call it the Watchtower choreography. Think of the dance choreography. You miss a step, you're going to stumble someone. So following the choreography, I realized how deeply entrenched I am into the psychosis, and I couldn't help but wonder as to how this has an effect on relationships and being able to develop connections. Well, it has a huge impact. The reality is, as a Jehovah's Witness, if you do not utilize Watchtower publications, articles, information that you're hearing at the symposiums from these conventions and assemblies, if you don't use Watchtower propaganda as the foundation of your commentary, you don't have much to say. Have you ever finished field service with a brother or a sister and went to a local fast food restaurant to get some lunch? Have you noticed there would be those gaps of silence? You're wondering what to talk about. You're wondering what to say. How about when you guys finally get your food and you're sitting there? Have you noticed that the conversation is very minimal? There's not very much to talk about. Unless if you're talking about what article are you going to share with that next household or that answer the door, or the next person that you approach at a bus stop or at a train station or wherever you're at. How do you establish relationships that way? There's such an over-enmeshment with the organization and Watchtower agenda. It's as if the witnesses completely forget what it's like to be human. It's a terrible place to be. It's through these interactions that we have with people that we're able to have a deeper understanding of who we are. But that's going to be quite challenging because the tension that exists within the walls of the Kingdom Hall, that controlled hostility, there are no words that can describe the impact that it has and how very corrosive it is to human relationships. You'll notice the Watchtower-induced kindness that is spread throughout the Kingdom Hall and at the assemblies and conventions. That kindness that is filled to the brim with aspartame and saccharin and all this other artificial sweetener. It's so destructive and so corrosive to human connections and relationships. That's what happens from the psychosis. But the witnesses are so unaware of what's going on. And any of you Jehovah's Witnesses that may be listening to this that doesn't believe me, the next time you go to the Kingdom Hall and you walk through those doors, observe. Recognize your interactions that you're having with people. Notice how everything is so muted. There's the Watchtower muffler on everything. All this just goes to show that nowhere in this organization is there a sense of safety. And nowhere in this organization is there a relationship that's based on trust. Why? Well, because everybody is an informant to everyone else. I mean, don't even think about entertaining the thought of standing next to somebody that you remotely find attractive, because that could possibly open up the gateway to committing adultery with that person in your heart. So you're constantly on the lookout, constantly having to question as to whether or not what you're doing or what you're saying is okay. As a result, this constant obsessing and this constant questioning, it develops paranoia. So my only words of advice to everybody that may be listening is to be aware, be conscious, be aware of what you're contributing to a situation. Ask yourself, am I feeling victimized, or am I victimizing someone else?